Hi to everyone. I've been received the call to look at charts of famous people, which I always did. We always are curious about the design of people we know first, and we all know some famous people because they are out there, and we wonder about the design behind the legend. What is so special about them? And in reality, there is absolutely no difference between them and us in the sense that this is their life and they are helpless or taken by their life, just like us being taken with our life. Is no choice there, but there is a chance to find ourselves in our life. They have a chance, and we have a chance to find ourselves, and we know through the human design the preciousness of those insights. And please be compassionate with my English. I know I do, and I will do some mistakes, and my pronunciation can be heavy, but just love me the way I am. So I chose Albert Einstein to be the first on my under my microscope, my projector microscope, to look at his design, and he was given this honor because I I see him, Albert Einstein, all over the network, especially in Facebook, where we see so many quotes and wise saying by so many famous wise men, and he is one of is very popular. He's very popular because it seems like the name Einstein became synonym with geniusness. Synonymous. Yeah, he is Einstein. You are an Einstein. Yeah, you are genius. You're smart. You're wise. So if I want to put something, upload something in and post something in Facebook, and I want to give it more emphasis, make it more credible. That is really smart. I should write rather than write Dvir. I should write Einstein, and that's what people do. So let's look. Let's look. And indeed, he was one of the most famous physicists, scientists. He received the Nobel Prize for that, and he's known for his theory of relativity and quantum mechanics. He was really living it. And let's see. Look, here is his design, Albert Einstein. And first, we see in human design terms, we see an emotional generator. Emotional generator. But today I want to start from the end to upside down. Breaking the rule. He is dead, so we can break the rules a bit. And because what attracted me first in his design, in his body graph, is the open mind and head, ajna and head. Because for some reason or another, I expected Einstein to have a very specific mind, a very genius mind, design activated by some very potent lines. And I mean, he was known for his mind, and people are still checking, investigating his brain, what he had so special in his brain. And then to see open mind and head, which means that actually he's open for inspiration from the outside. And that's, surprise, surprise, that's exactly what he did in his life. Actually, Albert Einstein was a voice for all the breakthrough ideas, concepts, insights of his period, of his age. And he had on his but before in his life, really, he in the early days around him, that's the way he used to work. And there was a gathering of people, of a group, of a study group around Albert Einstein, that he used to call this group Academy Olympia. And it was known that these discussions that were happening in this group were the stepping stones for all his breakthrough idea. They served as the foundation for all the conceptual and philosophical basis of his work. And that's exactly the wisdom of the open mind has, is to choose intellectually and to choose the best ideas. Yeah, this is the best thing to work with. And he has the capacity to work with, we will see. So he had, on this open mind, he had the two gates of the teacher. That's exactly who he was. He was, we see gate 11, the gate of ideas. This is the teacher, the teacher of the abstract, who can, through the visual memory, can express and conceptualize the ideas, and has a way to arouse and share his ideas, explain it, in that sense. And the gate and the other gate he has, and those are the two gates of the teachers. If you have those gates, you have some capacity in you, some quality in you to bring ideas, share ideas with the other, to teach them in that sense. And gate 17 is on the other side, on the logical stream, is the gate of opinions, and that's it. And that's the capacity to identify a pattern. The mind, the logical mind, it can identify a pattern of the whole thing. What's missing, what's not missing, what is working in it, is not working, and to develop opinions out of this vision. Yeah, this is the right eye. And the gate of ideas is the abstract mind, is the left eye. The eyes of the teacher to explain. And so he was doing exactly that. He was using all these that come floating, coming in his way, and making the best use and becoming a voice of it. And we see in his sun-earth design, the body, the vehicle, the sun is sitting on gate 11. This very gate of ideas, the ideas of the teacher, and it sits in this very gate and capacity. It sits on line 4, and line 4 called the teacher. That's exactly the full potential of this gate, to teach the teacher. And this is exactly what he did. He became with the leadership capacity, we will see also around these bright minds of his era that gathered around him. And we see that he has the earth, the way the vehicle ground all this capacity is on the throat in gate 12. Gate 12 is the gate of caution. The caution before we open our mouth. Yeah, because that's the potential. It's a very of expression, of very mutative expression, of very mutative individual expression. So we better wait for the right time before we speak with this type of expression capacity. And it sits on the throat. On line 4, the prophet. That means when this guy has something to say, and if he's in the right time, obviously, if he's waiting, it's a gate of caution. And when he comes out like the prophet. He's so powerful. His expression is so powerful and can create a mutation in others. This is exactly sun, earth. That's where it sits. Sun, gate of ideas that can be expressed through the amazing expression capacity of the prophets. And Albert Einstein had 11 first lines. That's a lot. That's a lot. I have 9 first line, and all my frequency is saturated with first line. The first line, the foundation, basics, investigation, introspection. Yeah, this is the professor with the hair standing, that he didn't eat and doesn't hear what people are saying. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know that his country was invaded by other country. He's busy with his investigation. He doesn't want to be disturbed. He's just sitting in his basement doing his investigation. 11 first line is a lot. This man was full of it. He was really the investigator. Yeah. The hair of Einstein, he was it. By the way, there is a lot of similarity between myself and Einstein. It's funny, while I looked, that's very interesting to see, the most interesting to see where we are in all those things, and to see different thing in his map, on under even the color, the tone that I will not go into, but so similar that his profile is 1-4 and mine is 4-1. The investigator, opportunist, yeah, that's the opportunity to externalize his investigation, Albert Einstein. And he was born in the right angle cross of Eden. Yeah, the cross, sun, earth on both sides, where is the biggest imprinting, 70% of the imprinting that tell us what is the big role we had to fulfill in this life. If we live through our strategy and authority, we can really fulfill it. And here we see the cross of Eden. That's the cross that actually it has nothing to do with the mind. Well, not exactly, not 100%, of course, but here the sun sits in the solar plexus, and that's the name of the game in the cross of Eden, the solar plexus, gate 36, the gate of the crisis, the gate of crisis. And Eden is the cross of those that were thrown away from Eden, outside of Eden. Early in life, they experienced some loss of security, some loss of, it can be psychological or physical. And in the life of Albert Einstein, there was a lot of it, of this crisis. A lot of this crisis. At the age of 17, as a young man, he gave up his nationality. He was born in Germany, a German Jew, a Jewish person, and he didn't like at all the militaristic mentality at the time in Germany. And he renounced his nationality and found shelter in Switzerland. And for 5 years in this age, for this profile that looks for something solid under his feet, it was not so easy. And he found shelter in Switzerland for 5 years. He had no nationality until he received nationality from Switzerland. And when he became famous, of course, Germany, from their own accord, gave him back his nationality, and everything was fun again. But later, when Hitler took the won the election with his Nazi party, all his property was taken from him, from Einstein, and after that he never visited Germany again. It was, as you expect from this cross, to be all over the place, to know life deeply, to be thrown out of Eden to this world full of bumps, and to know all the bumps and to be. And here I said it's not about the mind, but here comes the mind in this cross, because they are the one that will explain what it is to be in this life, because they experienced it. It's a lot about sexuality, 36, yeah, and the excitement of the experience, and gate 6, the earth. The earth is part of with whom to be intimate. So we know that he needs to be intimate with those that excite him. That's Albert Einstein, yeah. And not for nothing that at the end of his life, he was known as a humanitarian, as a teacher for life, more than his amazing work in physics, because this is exactly the type of teacher, yeah, we saw on the earth, yeah, with the articulation and the teacher he is, that he was born to be. He was a pacifist, he became a pacifist, vegan, and all this. That's why he's so famous in the network, all his wisdom from his experience. That's his real fulfillment. He's the teacher of life, and what he saw, yeah, he saw a lot, was not easy. Cross of Eden is the loss of innocence in this life, and really to go to it, to really find what it is, so we can find Eden again. And we started from the cross and this and that, but let's go back to the beginning, the true self, the core process. And we saw actually it's all coming together, because his true self is also in the solar plexus sacral, emotional generator. The channel of intimacy is the core of his process, connecting the sacral to the solar plexus. Intimacy, whatever Einstein is going to investigate with, he has to have intimacy, a deep intimacy with that person. That's what brings him satisfaction. And it's true that always there was this group of known people around Einstein. He works, that was his talent, to work with close people to him and be a voice for them, actually, to represent them and teach their ideas. And if you look actually in his pictures, look at his eyes, very warm eyes, full of warmth. Look, he has 2 emotional channels, a very powerful emotional system. He has the intimacy, and then he has the root, the adrenaline empower, yeah, adrenalize the solar plexus, with the channel of focused energy, of emotion, of feelings. Yeah, is the focus to find what I am to experience over time. Hopefully we wait. And so these 3 powerful engines together around the solar plexus. Wow, what a emotional process he had, intensive. That was the core. Yeah, to wait with this power as a generator, to respond and to wait for clarity. That's the core process for Albert Einstein. And on top of it, of course, he has the channel of initiation that connect his ego to the G, to the identity, to initiate new ways in the world, to empower us and himself first to be in a new way, to break through. And of course, this is exactly what he did in intimacy, in deep intimacy and new experiences, to initiate new ways, new understandings as investigator that he is. And we cannot escape, it won't be interesting without some gossip, some juicy things on his design of our scientist, our professor behind the scenes, secrets. So he has gate 59, of course, in this channel of intimacy. A design focused on reproduction, we know, and he has the gate of sexuality, the role of sexuality in our life, defined by Uranus in his design, twice on both sides of Uranus. Second line, shyness. Albert Einstein was shy. You know, the shyness, the role of shyness in seducing the proper mate for bringing offsprings. And on the other side, it's Uranus in the design side is activated by the fifth line, femme fatale or Casanova. It's again the power of sexuality, the role of sexuality in seducing. Okay, Casanova and femme fatale, seducing. That's the way to get kids. That's the most advanced modern way to get kids, is to seduce the right partner. And we see the Uranus is in detriment there in the fifth line. That's the power of sexuality expressed as sexual power. I mean, can be a bit too much of seducing and too much. That's his design. The gigolo, the adventurous, yeah, to really get in this territory. Now, we know that Einstein had two wives. He divorced the first one and remarried, and he had 3 kids. I'm sure this that was a very significant part of his life, all this family and intimacy and sexuality. Emotional authority, waiting for clarity. Wow, that's not easy with this powerful emotional system. That's not easy at all. And to add fuel to this fire, we see that on this very solar plexus we find gate 30. Gate 30, the gate of recognition of feelings, the whole process of this channel, from the root, from the adrenaline of the root to the solar plexus, we find the gate of the clinging fire. The clinging fire, which experience I have to cling to the I feel, which experience I feel to cling to in order to experience something new. And on line 4, burnout. Yeah, the fire of the line 4 brings him to burnout. It's so powerful. Burnout. And it's in detriment by Jupiter, is uncontrollable feelings and accompanying emotional outbursts, uncontrollable expansion with the inevitable bursting of the bubble. Yeah, that's part of his cross. Everyone has his cross. And you see what a process he had to go through. And he said that Einstein used to say that, at least for the best of my knowledge, that he made one mistake that he regrets. one big regret he had in his life, and that's when he signed the letter to President Roosevelt, to the American president, advocating that the bomb, the atom bomb, should be built. Yeah, he was behind this letter as a very influential scientist, and he regretted. He had a role in pushing for this move. And although he was pacifist, etc., etc., but he shared that he was afraid that some colleagues from Germany that joined the Nazi party was working on the project of the atom development, and he was afraid that the German will get it first. Obviously, maybe, I don't know, but maybe if he would have waited a bit more, he would wake up one day with the clarity that maybe I don't need to push Roosevelt to do this or that. Maybe I'm not clear about it at all. I just stay with the fear. So that's about his emotional process. I will not go into this. You see, I told you I'm a bit like Einstein in some respects. Of course, I'm Dvir, and I'm proud to be Dvir. And but I'm also investigator, and I can really dig and dig and dig. So I will try not to dig too much, and I will just jumped something, and let's look at the nodes of the moon. The nodes of the moon is where we find our path, our trajectory, the street of our life. And here we find Albert Einstein's street, and it's a very clear-cut street because both sides, personality and design, are both having the same two gates. They have two gates in the right, two gates to the left are the same gates. And we have the gate 31, the gate of influence, leadership, and we have gate 41, decrease of their possibilities for the new experience, the new beginning, decrease of possibilities. It's the gate that associated with the codon of start, the codon that start, the only codon that start every new experience in humanity. It's gate 41. So basically what we have a very clear-cut street in his life that is between the point of influence and leadership to the point of starting something new experience. That's the street, both sides. And we can see also the frequency, the same as we saw the 11 first line, as some of them are in his personality. He is investigator, but also he has first line in his notes. That means the investigator lives in the investigating environment too. Investigation, yeah, it's all about investigation. Obviously, the academic life was his life, and that's his environment. Investigation. And from the unconscious, not aware, the design, the body is in the third line environment, which is the environment of trial and error. That means I investigate, and while I'm investigating, I bump into all kinds of things, some good, some not so good, and I learn. And I more than learn, I discover new things, trial and error. And the most mutative line, the third line, this is the frequency of his life. Yeah, the physical frequency of his life. Investigation in trial and error. That's, we see, he was born into this life, just like us, born into our life. And it can be amazing or not. Bye-bye, dear Albert. Thank you for the opportunity to look at your chart. And and now I will say bye-bye to you with strategy and authority that can make the difference in our life. Thank you.